Hello everyone, welcome to Serenity with Mimi. Thanks for clicking on my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how I created some fall decor using, of course, Dollar Tree products. So unfortunately, I know I've been a little bit MIA, but I did lose my phone, and that is what I do use to film on. So I'm sad. I lost a lot of projects that I've created and a lot of memories. But it is what it is. I already went through my little sad phase of it, and life does go on. But I'm so excited to be back and to show you guys these easy, inexpensive projects I created. So sit back and relax or craft with me. Let's get started. Okay, so for our first one, we have this wood round that I picked up from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to take the little strings off, and it has two little holes on the top of it. So we are just going to fill those up with some spackle and sand it down. Once I did that, I took some white chalk paint and I painted our entire wood round. I did the front and the back. Okay, so I saw this beautiful piece online, and this is my reference. It's Man in the Moon side. I wanted to give a shot at it, so I was like, let me try to draw this. So I did keep the image up, and you guys, let me know what you guys think. I think it came out pretty close to the idea. Now, everybody knows, I have said it so many times before, that I am kind of like iffy about drawing, but I wanted to really like go for it. And if you're like intimidated by drawing, you could print it out and use some graphite paper and just trace over it and put it on your wood round image. Or, you could print it out and use that technique where you take the pencil and on the back of the paper and you rub it hard and then transfer it over that way. There's so many different techniques. I'm not sure if it's on, the Cricut Design Space, but, you could check that out. So, once I drew it all up, I took some black paint and I just started to fill in all the pieces. I mean, when I was done drawing it, I looked at it, I was like, this is like a big blob. So, I was going to scrap the whole thing if once I painted it and it didn't come out right. But it started to make more sense once I started to paint it in. So I take my little detail brush, and you're going to see me with that little pink pokey tool because I couldn't find my really, really small one. And I use that as well to color in the spots. Once I had it painted, it just looked a little bit too bulged out for me, so I did go over it with a piece of sandpaper. And I took my distressing ink, and I just distressed at the end a little bit. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, you guys, so I really like this one. This is like a shadow piggy bank box from Dollar Tree. So I take off the backing of it. And on the glass, it had wording. So I took a 100% acetone and a piece of paper towel. And I just rubbed it off just to get all that image off of the glass. Now, once I had the image off with the glass, I took a popsicle stick. And I cut down a piece of popsicle stick, or craft stick, whatever you guys call, whatever you want to call it. I call it popsicle stick, craft stick is always different. And I cut down a piece, and I just want to cover that hole. Now I grab apple barrel paint in the color antique parchment, and I paint our entire shadow box inside and out on the borders in that color. We'll be telling you guys the colors of everything I'm painting because I do apologize, you guys. What I'm filming on doesn't have the best quality, but I wanted to bring you guys some videos for fall because I did have a lot of ideas. So once I was painting, and you guys know I'm a clumsy painter, I have said it before I got inside the borders, I just used some tape just to protect glass, because yes, you could get paint on the glass and easily clean it, But I didn't want to do all that, so I was like, let me just stop being lazy and just tape it up and protect the glass. I didn't want it to be so clean, so I took my chippy brush and some burnt umber and I distressed the entire frame. I went a little bit heavier around the edges of the frame. And then I had this cute little wood chalkboard cutout, the shape of a squirrel. And I did paint it, even though it was black, but we are going to put something over it. I took my nutmeg brown and I went over it 3 times just to give it some coverage. Once I painted over it, I grabbed this yarn from Dollar Tree. I took some hot glue and I covered the whole entire squirrel, just basically doing the outer layer first. So I'm just wrapping the yarn around the whole entire little squirrel, going in the shape of the squirrel, and I work my way from outside in until I completely cover the entire squirrel. Okay, so our little squirrel's covered. You flip it around and you grab some scissors. These weren't the best ones, by the way. And you just want to clean it up and just trim around all like the extra yarn you have around, just to grab the shape of your little squirrel. Alright, so now I grabbed the backing of my frame and I just painted it with that antique parchment color from Apple Barrel, because I didn't have I had scrapbook paper, but nothing that went with the way I wanted it to look, if that made sense. I don't know, sometimes I just ramble. Now I just glue my little scrapbook paper onto my backing. Now I grabbed some Spanish moss and I put the part that was the piggy bank that had the slot on the top, I made that the bottom. So I'm covering that with some Spanish moss. When I think of fall, I think of Spanish moss and like that type of decor. And I grabbed some acorns that they sell these at Dollar Tree, which I find them really, really cute as well. And I just started laying some acorns down onto the Spanish moss. I am pressing them up against the glass a little bit, and I'm putting them in all different directions. Because remember, you still have to put your backing on, and you don't want it to basically not allow for the backing to go on it. It won't close completely if the acorns are on the edge of the border. So once we lay our acorns down, I grab my little squirrel and my backing and I glued it on to my back of my frame. And I take a little acorn and I glue it to the bottom. And I glue one, I found it so cute, I glued it up by his hand so it could look like he's eating the acorn. Then I just fitting it to see if it will close. And I sealed it up. And I grabbed this wood cutout that says Hello Fall. And I wanted it to be in 2 separate pieces. So I just grab my blade and I do cut it. And once I cut it in half, basically to separate the words, I do sand down the little sharp little edges. I take my mix of pumpkin by Waverly chalk paint and burnt umber mixture and I paint the words in that color. And once I paint them with that color, I let it dry. And then I take my burnt umber and I distress the words just to give it like a little bit of pop so it could really show through. Okay, my words are dry, so I take some glue and I put a little bit at the bottom and I glue the hello all the way to the left of the corner on top of the frame. And then I grab the fall word and I glue it to the right on top of the glass of the frame. And check this out, you guys. This is so stinking cute. Okay, you guys, so I grabbed 4 of the pumpkin wood cutouts, and I'm just going to fill up the holes with some wood filler and obviously sand down the excess wood filler. Once that's completed, I take two of the pumpkins and I paint them with my Waverly chalk paint, pumpkin, and burnt umber mixture that I've been using all fall long. And I take the other two and I paint them with Waverly chalk paint in the color moss. This camera that I'm shooting on, it does not give that moss color from Waverly Justice. That is such a beautiful color. So that's why I do like to incorporate it with my fall themes. I love those different tones. Okay, so I'm taking some more wood letters from Dollar Tree. And I have this wood leaf. This wood leaf cutout. I'm not sure where I got it from. It wasn't my stash, so I decided to use it. So I paint the letters with white chalk paint. And then I take the leaf and I paint it with Truffle by Waverly chalk paint. These letters are going to go on top of our pumpkins and the leaf wood cutout as well. So I wanted them to pop a little bit more. So I decided to do like opposite. I distressed the leaf with white, and then I took whatever was left on my paintbrush of the truffle color and I just went over the letters more, a little bit heavier on the outer edges of the letters. So now I have this piece of scrap wood and I decided to paint it in the truffle color as well. If you don't have a piece of scrap wood, you could glue some tumbling tower blocks together. Okay, you guys, so we have all our pieces done and I laid them all out. So I start to take the letters and I glue each one on top of our pumpkins. As you see, I alternated. I didn't want them to be like two orange together, two of the moss together. So I did one orange, one moss, one orange, one moss. And that's exactly how we are going to put them on our base. Before that though, these are like the wood beads, like the more square ones, and I attached them to the back of the pumpkins to put them onto our base just to give it more to hold on to. So I glued all the pumpkins onto our base. That is looking so pretty so far, but it needed a little bit something more, and I just over exaggerated with the hot glue as always. So I grabbed some Spanish moss and I just start to lay out some Spanish moss onto the wood base. I did tuck the Spanish moss underneath the little gaps of the pumpkins. As much as I love Spanish moss, it was just a little too much. It looked like Cousin It. So I just gave it a little bit of a trim. Now, once I gave it a little bit of trim, I was going to leave it like this. I said, this is beautiful. But what I feel like a little bit of lights do so much to decor. So I took these Dollar Tree lights and I started to string them. I just strung them around the pumpkins and that completed this project. Okay, you guys, this one's so simple, but it came out so beautiful. So this is a bamboo ring from the 2-pack from Dollar Tree. This is the larger one. I had some ribbon. What I'm doing is I'm cutting off the wiring. If you could use anything for this, any type of fabric, any type of ribbon. If you're gonna use ribbon that has wiring at the edges, just cut the wire off. So I take the piece of ribbon and I double knot it onto our little bamboo ring. Now the ends of the ribbon, you want to leave those ends of the ribbon going outwards, like pointing up. Okay, so I continue to do that, and as I'm doing that, I'm pushing them close together, and I stopped and I looked at it for a second, and it was a little too neutral. So I decided to grab this buffalo check ribbon that I had and I cut off the end of the wiring as well. And I decided to incorporate the buffalo check into my little, this is going to be a wreath. So I'm doing the same process. I double knot it and I put the pieces pointing upwards and I push all the pieces together. Okay, so it took me a little while, but I'm done. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting a little bit of the extra strings. I left a couple on there because I liked the way that it looked. It gave it like a little bit more character of a vintage type thing. And then I'm just evening out the ends of the strips. So I'm just basically cutting it all up. Now, I wanted a little extra something for this wreath, so I grabbed a wood plank from the pack from Dollar Tree and this thankful word cutout. I think I got this from Hobby Lobby 2 years back. And I didn't want it to be gold, so I just took some black paint and I painted it in black and I painted the I painted the wood plank in the color white. And I also dry brushed the wood plank with the black color just to give it a little bit of different tone of color. Then I took the thankful wood cutout, which fit perfectly on the wood plank, and I glued it on. I put some glue on the four corners of the wood plank and I glued it on to the wreath. And you guys, I'm in love with this one. This is my favorite one. This came out so gorgeous. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to comment your favorite down below and like, share, and please subscribe. It will help my channel grow so I continue to bring you guys content. Always remember, you guys, this world could throw you twists and turns, but always make good choices. To the next one, you guys.